Man, why do I keep doing these crazy things? So here's my crazy idea. I'm gonna make this. The Flintstone Flyer. I had a buddy of mine, I showed him my Flintstone mobile that I made. And I said, I don't know what I could do to top this, and I don't know what else I can make. So he said, why don't you make the Flintstone Flyer? So thanks, Glenn. Great idea. Not. So I have a couple of pictures here. They're different. I'm going to probably take a little bit of ideas from each one. This is crazy. So my plan was to make this out of Mahogany Obsidian. Call me crazy? Yeah, I'm crazy. I'm going to try it first. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'll try it. So I have a bunch of core samples. I can cut them different thicknesses to make the wheels. And that would be so easy, right? But we're not going to do it that way. We'll just make it out of obsidian. Mahogany obsidian, because this is made out of wood, apparently. Oh man. Let's get started. So I got the wheels cut out. And then I put them on the flat lap just to smooth it out just a little bit. I want to keep it slightly rough for, you know, it's prehistoric and everything. When you look here, you see 1, 2, 3 wheels. So I figured that's all you need. But, doing a little bit more research, I discovered that you need one on each side. The seat's different, so it's from a different series of Flintstones, probably later. But you have to have one on each side, one for each hand. And I noticed on this one too, same thing. So I have to make 5 altogether. And that's what I did. I still have to make a bench. I have to make this part here, and then the legs on the bottom. This I haven't figured out yet. That looks metal. I don't know why it's metal. It's prehistoric. But yeah, it looks metal to me, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do that part yet. This here doesn't look like a bench. It probably, he was just working on it. And then that looks more like a bench. There's different variations of it. This one, the 2 seats. I think I'm going to go with the kind of like this here with a bench type thing. I'm going to do the gears. This one, you can't see the gears unless it doesn't have the gears for some reason. Looks weird. And then when this propeller spins, it's going to go horizontal. So I'm going to probably just build it like that to leave it horizontal. My next step is to cut out some benches. Yeah, made a couple of benches. So those will also go in the rotary tumbler. Just got to figure out how to put all this together. This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. Well, I just went through some of my obsidian, and I did find a piece that's quite large. So I have to cut a slab or 2 out of here. There goes nothing. So now that I have all the wheels, well, those things cut out, my next step is to see if I can drill holes so I can slide the gears in. If not, I'll glue them on, but I'm going to try to drill holes in the edge of this. But I'm going to try it on a scrap piece first, just in case. And then I have to try to drill a hole straight through that way for the middle piece here and one of those guys. I'm going to do it on my drill press. I have a diamond bit drill all ready to go. Have some water in here, and I'm going to submerge that like that, and then pull her down and see if I can drill a nice hole without shattering it. Can't seem to get a grip on there. It's a little slippery. Nope. Well, that's not working. It could be the drill bit. I'm going to try to drill straight through, see what happens. Yeah, it's definitely the drill bit. I don't think that's working either. Well, a little bit. So it blows out the back end. That's not a good thing. Okay, well, plan B, whatever that is. It could still be the drill bit. Man, this is a lot harder than I thought. So I found this little pointy thingy, the diamond bit. got a sharp end on it. I have a little tray filled with water that keeps the bit cool, and it keeps everything nice and wet, and it helps clean out the hole. Let's give her a shot and see what happens. Alright, that seemed to work. Got a starter hole anyway, which is a good thing. So I'm going to try to drill a hole in the ends now and see what happens. They don't have to be very deep, just as long as I can get a little dowel type thingy in there to glue it. Okay, so I think that's going to work. If we make it through, I'll show you at the end. Well, it worked. It's not perfect, but it'll do. This will be the one that I can hide the most, hopefully. And then I have 4 more to do. And they are done. Turned out not too bad. Nothing broke on me, so that's a good thing. So I will have to grind off the magic marker here, smooth them out a bit on the flat lap, and then they will go into the vibratory tumbler for about 9 days. So far, this will be the main platform. That would be elevated kind of like so. And then one on each side. And then there's gonna have to be one in the center. So I have to figure out, well, that almost fits like just like that. So the pegs will match and they'll hit each other. If it, well, it's not gonna turn, but if it was to turn, they would have to work like gears. And then, no, actually, that's for the feet. These would be for the hands. And then this one's going to go up top there. And then these will be the seats. I'm going to put them just so they're glued to the edge like that. Give a little bit of space for them. For Fred and Barney. And I think that's a good start. So all this stuff has to go into the vibratory tumbler for about 9 or 10 days, and I'm gonna have to be really careful to clean out all these little holes as I go along through the stages. We'll see what happens when they get out. If you're going to be doing something like this, these have been in the 500 stage. I'm just doing the clean out and the burnishing now. What happens is your little holes get full of grit. So before I put it in for the burnish, I'm going to get a little paintbrush and just put it in there and swirl it around. See all that? Look at that. That's all that grit coming out of there. So you don't want that. And if you can get that out of there before you burnish, it'd help a lot better. So this is what I have to do for the next few minutes anyways. Make sure everything's all nice and cleaned out. If you had a hole that went straight through, it wouldn't be as bad. But these don't go all the way in, all the way through. So have a little bit of a problem. Won't take too long though. And that's how it looks. I'll have to do that with the other 4, and then we'll continue on for the burnishing. Yeehaw! I did have my bench break on me, so not sure what I'm going to do there. Kind of bummed about that. What a drag. We are now in the 1200 stage, and I put these aside in a container of water just because I had to clean out the little holes, but look what's going on. I just set them in there, and the grit seems to be coming out all by itself. I mean, that's not going to all come out, but yeah, how cool is that? I was trying to decide if I want to retumble one, cut it and retumble it, or glue this together, and I'm going to retumble it because I wouldn't be happy with gluing it together. The seats turned out pretty good. I kind of like the little chips out of them. kind of prehistoric looking. So I'm happy about that. That worked out well. So they turned out pretty good. Just deep enough to get a little peg in there, and I'm hoping this is going to work. So my next step is to get the little pegs in there, then cut them to size and paint them. What I will probably use is these barbecue skewers for shish kebabs and stuff. Fits in there just nice. So that'll go in there. I'll glue it, cut them to size, and probably stain them dark brown. So these guys here are tumbled. That'll be the center post. I'll have to trim off the edges and kind of even it out and stuff. And then these ones will be underneath, kind of like feet. And I'll have to cut them to the same length. So now it's going to be a waiting game until I can cut another one. Geez, I don't even know if I have enough material. Okay, so I did find a piece, which is awesome. I'll have to cut a slab off it and then see if it's big enough. Looks like it. Let me test it out here first. Yep, that'll work, even if I have to make it just a tiny bit smaller, but no, that's going to work just fine. Awesome! Now I'm going to cut a slab off of here and make that bench again. I'm going to put it back in the tumbler, see what happens. I kind of like the beveled edges. So the best way to cut this I found, I tried a bandsaw and I tried a little tiny saw and it just wasn't working. These are way too small for that. And I'm just going to roll it and put some pressure on it. Just like that. Got to do that 54 times. Okay, they are all cut. So now what I have to do is get some E6000 and glue them in the holes. After they're glued, I'm going to have to sand them down a bit to make them all equal lengths. Okay, the pegs are in. They're going to take a few days to dry. And then once they're dry, I'm going to trim them to size. And then I left a hole out in one of them. And I'm going to glue two of them together. Make it a little bit more solid. And I know that's not how gears work. But if you look at this, they line up like that. And I think it's just going to be easier. And they will also be painted. The pegs will be painted probably a dark brown or stained. Probably a stain. So these are all dry now. And my next step is to grind the tips down a little bit so they all match. And we will figure out how to do that. I'm going to try a cutting disc for a Dremel tool. Hopefully I can zing these down a little bit without ruining it. Cool. And they're done. So now what I'm going to do is stain the little tips and put it all together. Well, since I don't have any stain, I'm going to try this stuff. It's a professional oil dye for fabric, for leather and stuff. Alrighty, this is where we've got so far. I don't have anything glued. This bench made it through the tumbler, so we're good there. I just kind of have everything setting in place because what I have to do is get this center post in here, and I have to drill a hole through this. So I have to measure from the bench up to the middle of the post there, because that's going to go straight through, and that will be, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. But that's what we have so far. I have to clean up some glue and stuff like that too, but right now I have to drill a hole in the middle of that post. Wish me luck. Well, that happened. But I'm going to glue it. Well, and this is what we have so far. It's going to be sitting like that. Have the post in the middle all glued up. Sides glued on. And then this is going to sit up on top like this. And then there's going to be the whirly bird thing with the propellers and the that I can put the seats on. And I think that's it. But the big part now is to find out what I'm going to use for the propellers. In the picture, to me it looks like it's metal. So I'm going to use metal. Found some brass. Very thin stuff. There's different thicknesses. There's here we are. Really thin stuff. A little bit thicker. And then some like really thin stuff, like almost like a foil. But I won't be using that, it's too thin. It's probably the middle or the thickest one, which is still super thin. And I'm going to probably bend that around here like this. And then cut out some propellers. I'll have to figure out what I'm going to use for that. Okay, now the top is on. It's drying. Not drying straight. I put a nut at the top. There seems to be like a washer kind of thing right there. So I put a nut up on top to make it look like the washer. So the shaft can fit inside there. And then I have to figure out what that is going to be. And then I have to figure out what... Oh man, this is crazy. But we're almost there. This is going to be the toughest part, I think. Not that everything else wasn't tough. Okay, well, I've got it cut out. I used the longer piece of brass because the shorter ones weren't long enough, of course. I tried to cut this out with tin snips. These guys here didn't work. Put a lot of kinks in it. Wasn't even at all. So that was kind of a waste. But I end up using just an old pair of scissors. And it worked out really well. Got it bent into shape, and that's going to sit on top like this. And all I have left to do is the propellers and the shaft. Alright, a simple little template made out of cardstock, just thick paper. I'm going to trace that out on here, cut them all out, just like that. So we will cut them out. Okay, I have them all cut out, and they're going to sit like that, which is pretty cool. Problem is, they're connected to some little round thing and then little tiny wires. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I could try. I don't know about the round thing in the middle. I have no idea what I would do for that. But let me work on it for a bit, see what I can come up with. Alright, well, I found these two things. This thing here is from the end of a guitar string, probably a bass guitar. It's a little large. All the other ones that I have are a lot smaller. It's got a hole through the center, and then the round thing is a little bead that I'm going to put on top. So hopefully that'll work. I have all these weird things because I'm a model builder. Well, I used to be a model builder. I have a closet full of model cars and motorcycles and stuff. And I'd like to scratch build things, which is basically building models out of different parts and pieces and kind of make it your own. So yeah, I collected a lot of weird things, but I'm glad I did. So it'll basically sit like that, and then I can wrap wire around the groove and attach it to the propellers, hopefully. No, that's not going to work because of this. Won't fit. I'm going to try to go a little bit closer. Houston, we have a problem. If I bend it around like that, then it's going to be way too wide at the bottom. And that's the longest piece I have, unless I can figure out a way to join two of those strips together. I don't know what's going on. So if I hold it together like that, it's pretty darn close. Plus the propellers will be this way, not like that, not flat. They'll be laying like this. So as long as I have enough clearance right there and over there we should be okay. I was able to glue these to the bottom of that guitar string thingy. And I also have these tiny rubber rings that I'm going to put around the propeller shaft up against the bottom of the propellers just to glue it and keep it a little bit more stable. Just like that, and I'm going to cinch them all the way up to the bottom and drop some crazy glue on it. But so far, it's looking pretty cool. There, we got those in place. A little bit of glue, and we are good to go. Well, that's on. So now all I have left to do is do a little bit of touch-up painting. Put this shroud on over top, and then Well, hope you liked the video. I had some fun making it. That was a challenge for sure. But it was a lot of fun. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Give it a subscribe. Hit that notification bell. If you have any crazy ideas like this one, let me know. I'll try to build it. You never know. I'm always looking for something fun to do. Hey, buddy. Yeah, you in the blue shirt on the couch eating chips. Hit that subscribe button right now. And we will see you all next week. Thanks for watching. What does this button do?